What a game. What a game. What a game. Game 5 was just an amazing game. That was just an amazing game to watch. Like this, for to me, this is the greatest finals to watch ever since 2016. As 2016, the Cavs were down 3-1. They forced that game 7. Then it was all that intense build up to it. I've never seen a finals great ever since. You could argue 2019, but the Raptors had the edge on that. And there was an injury with Klay Thompson during those finals, and along with Draymond Green wasn't as effective, along with Kevin Durant. So it was really the Raptors had control of that series. But this finals has been insane. Down 2-0 with the Bucks, and now they're up 3-2. Sorry I couldn't get this a lot earlier, as I was pretty exhausted, and then I kind of lost some of my stuff. I lost my laptop recording this, and then now I'm recording this right now. So I found it, but thank God I did. But wow, what a series this has been. I'm going to talk about mostly like my the reflections I made after game 2, and then what's in the series right now. So it's not looking good for the Suns, as Chris Paul has not really played well. The Chris Paul hasn't played well. Aiden's been okay. The Suns' ball movement isn't as great as it was in the first 2 games. Alongside, the Phoenix is just not playing the right basketball. Devin Booker has been going off. Game 3, he was not good. In game 3, he was horrible, and then he had 2 back-to-back 40 point games. That's not something like, this is your first finals and you're able to do that. That's just incredible. Incredible. That's really incredible right there. But the fact of the matter is, it seems like Devin Booker is playing on the Phoenix team that he's been on his entire career. Like, I don't even know if I would say Suns in 7 anymore, because I don't really believe in this team. Before I was talking about how Monty Williams was such an amazing coach, Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns were hitting on all cylinders. Chris Paul played amazing, actually. Chris Paul played amazing. Aiden played amazing. Mikal Bridges played amazing. Everyone was playing good on the Phoenix Suns, and then now it's just all a drop off. Something I really couldn't have expected from this team. I thought this team was really well coached, that they were really well to hide it, but that's not the case here. And I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Mike Budenholzer, you've been making the right adjustments. You proved me wrong. I'm not saying the series is over yet, but it seems like the Bucks can take it. They're going to home court advantage. They have the home court advantage. Hopefully it goes to a game 7, just so that because I might miss the game. But I don't. We'll see about that. But however, Chris Middleton, you've been amazing for the past 3 games. You had an okay game 3, but they still won the game with you playing well. So, and then you had 2 amazing closeouts. In game 4, you close out the series. That was an amazing closeout. And then game 5, that was an amazing closeout. And Jrue Holiday, although for the first 4 games, although for like the first 2 games you were horrible, game 4 you were absolutely terrible. Game 3 you were okay, but this game, Jrue Holiday, you proved me wrong. I'm glad to say that. As I said, I was ranting about how the Bucks gave up almost their entire future. You were the piece that made Giannis. I don't know what happened there, but okay, some glitch happened. I don't know if this is continuing on, but I'm just gonna say, but Jrue Holiday, you were the piece that made Giannis stay in Milwaukee. Milwaukee went all in for you, and you played when the game needed you. You did play. You blocked up. You were the reason how the play where the dunk happened. Like that, man, how am I supposed to say this? You made that great defensive play on Devin Booker. Then you lobbed it to Giannis for that dunk. That was an amazing play. That was just an amazing play. Jrue Holiday, you proved me wrong just that one game. In that one game, you proved why the Bucks invested in you. You proved it, and I'm really happy about that. Chris Middleton, you've been amazing. As my problem with you is that you were very inconsistent, but now because of your inconsistency, but now you've been playing at such a high level so recently that you, as I did say, you were the most important piece. Important doesn't mean the best, but important piece, such as you were to tell if the Bucks were a championship team or not. And you Bucks are playing like the Bucks are playing like a championship team. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. Yeah, that's just what it is. But I'm gonna have to give the biggest shout out to Giannis Antetokounmpo. What he's doing in this finals is all-time great status. Like it's it's really amazing how this man had averaged back-to-back 40-point games in the finals, and in game one he played decently, but that was also because he was coming back from an injury where it looked like he was out for like weeks. He only but he managed to come back in just 1 week, and now he's having he's having an all-time great final performance. That's just what it is. As he's averaging 32 points and 11 rebounds. It was 61 field goal percentage. That's that's just insane. How the and a lot of people are not really giving him credit for this, and that's really sad. Like, how can you not give him credit for that? Like, he's coming back from an injury, giving all he could do, giving all he could, giving it his all. I don't know what I was saying there, but giving it his all. Had back-to-back 40-point games, had two clutch blocks, or two. No, had one clutch block and one game-saving dunk. Two clutch plays in back-to-back games. That is just really that's just really insane. Giannis deserves this ring. Although yes, like facing injuries, but like so what? Really you beat who's in front of you, and you're doing that, and you were down 0-2, so you're able to come back, and now you're up 3-2. And Mike Budenholzer, I, you were making the right adjustments. I was wrong about that. Not that I didn't think the Bucks would win even if you did make the right adjustments, but the Bucks are proving me wrong. They are proving that they are a championship team. Middleton, you've been amazing. Giannis having an all-time great performance. He's easily going to win Finals MVP, and as he should. If the Bucks win the finals, that's the case. I'm not going to say the series is over yet, because I did say that when the Suns were up 2-0, and yeah, that's not looking good so far. But now I'm really going to talk more about what Phoenix can do. Like, are they really done? I don't think so. The problem that they really have to encounter is that in game 3, Devin Booker was not playing well, and that was the reason. If your best player doesn't play well, then it really makes sense for you to lose that game. However, game 4, another one of their best players, just Chris Paul, had meaningless turnovers, didn't play great, and it just came to backfire them in the end. And it just really shows, as watching these games, the Suns are not showing like the team they were in the first 2 games. They're showing like those first 2 games were just flukes, and their finals run was a fluke. That's what they're basically showing, as they're not really moving the ball well, as that's what they were known for, ball movement. They are shooting well, but they're not really stepping up into those big moments as they did in those games leading up to the finals, and even in the first 2 games in the finals. Yeah. Well, and are they screwed? Are they screwed is really a good question, because I don't really know what Suns team is to come now. Are they going to play like the team they were going into the finals and the team they were in the first 2 games, or are they going to play like the first 3 games, the last 3 games. I don't. Now it's just really now they're the most unpredictable team. Before, before the Bucks were the most unpredictable team, and now it's the Suns. It's clearly it's clearly impressive how the tables have turned, and now I've been seeing a lot of people like hate on Phoenix now. As before the finals started, like they were the favorites to make the finals. A lot of people wanted them to make the finals, and now since the Bucks are up are up 3-2, then that narrative just shifted around. I don't know if it's just me, but like that's just what it seems to be. Even when Phoenix was up 2-0, everyone was saying, "Oh, they're gonna easily win the championship." And now it's just the Bucks just completely shifted that narrative. It's really impressive. This is why like a lot of people just should not just overreact over a set of games. This is just why you don't overreact over 1 game. You don't overreact over 2 games. You overreact when the series is over, or just don't overreact in general. But just you give your final thoughts. This is why. This is why I kind of hate just like making This is why I kind of like hate giving my like opinions after like 2 games, because it would be completely different to as when the series is over. As when the Clippers were down 2-0 in the first round against the Mavs, I didn't really think I really thought they were gonna lose, but then like they turned it around, and then I was right in my predictions, but it's just really I was kind of overreacting too, which is really a good lesson here. It just shows that series leads don't matter unless when the series is finished. That's all it is. When the series is finished, that's the best way to give your opinions on it. As you then yeah, I'm gonna talk about Chris Middleton again because another point just came to my mind because I saw a graph where Chris Middleton has the most game tying or go ahead field goals in the fourth quarter for the last 25 postseasons, and it's 15 alongside LeBron in 2007, which is LeBron led that Cavs team to the finals, and then Chris Middleton is doing that on a championship team, and he's up 3-2, which is pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. However, I still kind of have my doubts. Not my doubts that the Bucks won't win the series, because I do think they can win the series, but now, since I just said we can't just overreact over a set of 2 games, but now like this finals is very unpredictable right now because the Suns could be the team they were in the first 2 games and completely just win Game 6 and Game 7, and then the Bucks could play like how they've been and completely end the series. It's really a toss up. It's really a toss up. As I know the team that wins Game 5 80% of the time wins the series, and especially if it's and it's definitely higher when like the team that wins Game 5 is on the opposing is not on home court advantage. It's definitely higher on that, but it's really unpredictable as this playoffs has been. As this playoffs has been, as there were a lot of injuries. There were a lot of injuries. A lot of the teams were out in the first round. Like it was just very unpredictable. As another thing I wanted to point out was that since CP3 and has not been playing well recently, and he could turn it around, which it is very possible because I can't really go against Monty Williams, as I've said that this entire time, as he is making good adjustments, just that his team isn't really performing. Is that Chris Paul is not Chris Paul is not playing well. DeAndre Ayton is really as being effective. The only player that's really been consistently good this series is Devin Booker, and he had a bad game 3, but for at most of the games he's been balling for 40 back-to-back 40-point games. It's just insane. Like it's probably gonna get swept under the rug because if the Bucks win this series, if the Bucks don't win the series, then they'll be more memorable. And D Book will probably get all the Kobe comparisons, which is something I'm not really gonna say. I'm not gonna say he's the next Kobe because that's probably a topic for another day. But but if D Book doesn't play good next game, then the Bucks probably win the championship. Alongside, he's really there. He's really showing why he's the best player on the team. As I did a poll saying who was the best player on the Suns, and a lot of people voted Chris Paul, but I thought Devin Booker was always the best player on the Phoenix Suns, and he is showing why he is. Chris Paul is the most important piece, which is what he is showing. That, but Chris Paul, you're gonna have to step up. And as a Rockets fan, I know I always have to bring this up every video because like Chris Paul's in the finals, and I did say I'm happy for him, and it is kind of frustrating. But when Chris Paul made the finals, I saw a lot of tweets. I saw a lot of like people tweeting this video from 2 years ago from James Harden slapping James Harden slapping Chris Paul's hand because he didn't understand the play. He didn't want to move off ball, and people were laughing at James Harden saying, "Oh, he was the problem. He was the problem. He was the guy that that was the reason for the failure of Houston." You could pin the blame on him, but like this is showing how Chris Paul has had a lot of playoff hiccups, and now like these narratives are just going back at him. And Chris Paul, if you don't want to be known as a choker, these 2 games are you have to perform. Devin Booker, maybe he doesn't have a good game because he came from back-to-back 40-point performances, because like, there's no way he's gonna drop 40 again unless he's Devin Booker, unless he's like Kobe Bryant. But like this, he's probably not gonna drop another 40 piece. So you're gonna have to drop a 30 Chris Paul. You're gonna have to be you have to play the best basketball you've ever done in your life for the next 2 games. For the next 2 games, in order to solidify your legacy as a top 5 point guard, which I think you already are, but a lot of people are not really using that top 3 point guard, which you could have a debate for right now, but you could be a lot. You could be a lot better at it. I mean, you could be a lot better, higher in people's rankings. Man, I'm not thinking straight right now, but the most I'm gonna say, the highest I would have you was probably 5, but maybe 4. We'll see. But Chris Paul, you're gonna have to play the best game. DeAndre Ayton, you're also gonna play bad. I know you haven't really been playing bad, but I just feel like the Bucks they're just attacking every single. They're just attacking every single board, and they're just getting the easiest baskets in the world. And then it's just really their defense hasn't been just the Suns' defense hasn't been. I'm fine. I'll just go at it as a team. DeAndre Ayton, Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, these Torrey Craig, Cameron Payne. Every one of you'll have to play the best basketball for the next 2 games. If you want to win the series, your defense hasn't been great. Your ball movement compared to the first 2 games of the finals has not been well. Only Devin Booker is the most consistent player out of all you. Do I think you can come back? I don't know. Because before, I thought you were the lock to win the finals, but now you are looking like the most unpredictable team. It's funny how the narrative shift. Very narrative shifting finals right here. But as I gotta say, Devin Booker, you need to get your respect. I know if you get a bad game, everyone will probably pin on you and say, "Oh, you're not the next Kobe," which is why I think these Kobe comparisons are unfair, because if he's gonna fail, then people are gonna say, "Oh, he's not no Kobe. He did this and a thing. Kobe wouldn't do that." You gotta let this guy be who he is. He's only 24, and he's been in the finals for the first time, and he's been in the playoffs for the first time in his career. Just give it time. Just give him time. I know. Yeah, I'm not saying he is the next. He will be the next Kobe. He probably will never reach Kobe, but let him pave his own path and let him be Devin Booker. And he is Devin Booker because he's not Kobe Bryant. He's not gonna be the best, one of the best shooting guards in the league. He is Devin Booker. Let him pave his own success. Let him pave his own success. And speaking of success, I've already spoken how Giannis is having an all-time performance. Because if Giannis wins this, he's gonna solidify himself as a top 30 player of all time. And he's only 26 years old. He's in his 8th season and he is winning a championship. If I don't want people to record this saying, oh, you, which no one probably is because no one's probably listening to this, but wait, let me grab some water first. I'll probably be back in like 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back. One thing I just really gotta say is just that Giannis is playing at an all-time performance, which I've already said before, but the fact that he's only 26, he's in his 8th year, and he's already solidified himself as a 2-time MVP. If he wins a championship, 1-time championship, most improved player. The only thing ahead of him is just longevity, and I think that can come with time. I don't know if he can win another MVP. I don't know if he can win another championship. We'll just have to see with that. But I do think he's gonna get there, as he's gonna be mentioned one of the greats, as he's having an all-time great performance, as he's had back-to-back 40-point performances, and he is joining elite company as he had 20 points in a quarter, and that was the most since Michael Jordan in 1993. And I've seen Giannis, and he's saying the job's not done, and him and Drew Holiday have been made that game 5 play, have had the greatest game five I've ever seen in my life. Drew Holiday, Chris, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Y'all need more respect. Drew Holiday, I was kind of harsh on you, but that game 5, you solidified why the Bucks invested in you. And I'm pretty happy about it. As I did think the Suns would beat the Bucks in the finals, but now it seems like the Bucks win it, and I don't really have a problem with it. Giannis Antetokounmpo, you've been playing pretty well. You're joining League Company. We're witnessing your greatness, and I'm happy to witness this greatness, as I haven't witnessed a lot of greatness in my lifetime. Actually, I have, but I like that you're adding on to it. And you're probably going to be the best overseas player of all time. I'm probably right next to Hakeem Olajuwon. You could be worse than Dirk, which a lot of people have been saying. If Giannis does win, he'll probably be a second best power forward of all time. I don't agree. He probably will be like a top 5 one, yeah, but I'll probably have to see. But this man has done so much at the age of 26. It's just insane. It's just great. It's just really great. Oh yeah, he's already won Defensive Player of the Year. I clearly forgot about that. And in this playoffs, he's averaging 29, 13, and 5. And his effective field goal percentage is 58. That's just insane. And you have been hitting free throws. He has been hitting free throws, which is pretty funny to say. One thing I will say though is that, wait, it just slipped my mind. But back to Chris Paul. Since we are talking about great players, Chris Paul, you're one of the all-time greats. As I do think you're a top 25 player of all time. However, you gotta solidify yourself as that status. You may be even higher on my all-time list if you play well these next 2 games. These next two games will probably be the most fun to watch because this is actually a much bigger finals performance than people realize. People have called this the worst finals, and I don't agree with that. No, this is probably the best final since 2016. This is the most competitive. This is at least the most competitive, and it's been the most fun to watch. Games 4 and 5 were both fun to watch. Basketball. And I think that's all I have to say. So we'll see what Giannis, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Chris Middleton. We'll see what all of them do in game 6. Drew Holiday, you're also in that bunch. We'll see. Maybe there's unsung heroes like Mikal Bridges was in game 2, but who knows? And I'm Horace McCoy, and this is the All Facts No Cap podcast.